Good evening, all. Today we are going to do the revision of the chapter Relations and Functions. So, first of all, to check the relations, all of you know that we have to check the Cartesian product of two sets. So, how the Cartesian product of two sets is defined? Suppose we have two non-empty sets A and B. The Cartesian product A cross B is the set of all the ordered pairs of the elements from A and B. That means we have to pair up the elements of A and B, and that pair will be known as an ordered pair. Why it will be known as an ordered pair? Because it has some order, and that order says that the first element will be from the set first, that is our A set, and the second element of the ordered pair will be from the second set, that is our B set. So A cross B will be equals to the set of ordered pairs A comma B, such that A belongs to A and B belongs to B. This is a order set by us, right? So now let us find A cross B and B cross A whenever A is given as set of 1 and 2 and B is given as set of 5 and 6. Now A cross B will be 1, 1 comma 2 cross 5 comma 6. That means we have to pair elements of A with the elements of B in the order that first element will be of the first set. So 1 will be paired up with 5, 1 will be paired up with 6 as well, 2 will be paired up with 5, 2 will be paired up with 6 as well. So we will get the set A cross B as A 1 comma 5, 1 comma 6, 2 comma 5 and 2 comma 6. These are all the ordered pairs. That means we have pairs of A and B. Next, B cross A. Now nothing has changed, both the sets are same, but now order has changed. What order has changed? First set now our became B. So first elements of the ordered pair will be now from B set, and second elements of the ordered pairs will be from the set A. So now we have to pair up the elements of B with A. So we will get 5 comma 1, 5 comma 2, 6 comma 1 and 6 comma 2. This will be our set of ordered pairs for the set B cross A. Now next, points to remember. The main points which says two ordered pairs are equal if and only if the corresponding first and second elements are equal. That means the first elements of the ordered pairs will be equal and second elements also needs to be equal if two ordered pairs are equal, right? Second thing, if there are p elements in set A, suppose there are p elements in set A, that means n of A will be equals to p. This means the number of elements in A will be p, right, as we discussed in the sets chapter as well. Next, q elements in the set B. If B has q elements, that means n of B will be equals to q. Then A cross B or B cross A will have PQ elements. So A cross B, that is Cartesian product of A with B, or B cross A in the opposite order, will have PQ number of elements, right? Next point to remember is the set of triple product of sets, that is A cross A will be equals to the set of all the ordered triplets. Triplets means now we have three elements in one ordered triplet. So A comma B comma C, where all A B C are belonging to A. Next we are going to define relation between two sets. A relation from a non-empty set A to a non-empty set B is a subset of the set A cross B. Now it is what? Relation is our set, or we can say a subset of A cross B. That is the Cartesian product of A and B in the order A cross B. It will be a subset of R. Not subset of R. It will be a subset of A cross B, and that will be what? Our R. Next, the subset is derived by defining a relationship between the elements of A and B. How we will get this subset? Because there will exist many number of subsets for A cross B. For one A cross B, there will exist many number of subsets. So how we will check that which subset we require? So there must be given some condition to define the relationship. So the subset is derived by defining the relationship between the elements of A and B. The second element is called the image of first element. That means the second element of relation will be image of first element, right? Next points to remember again. First point, the set of all the first elements of ordered pairs in R will be called the domain of R. That means if we collect all the first elements of ordered pairs in R, that will be our set of domain set of relation R. Next, the set of all the second elements of the ordered pair in R is called the range of R. It is what? Range of R. That means if I collect all the second elements of the ordered pairs in the given relation set, that will be our range set. That will become our range set, right? Next, third, the whole set B, that is second set, is called the codomain of R from A to B. Clear? Next and last point, a relation on set A means from A to A. Earlier we were doing relation from a set A to B, but now A to A only, set A to itself. So a relation on set A means from A to A. Next, let us take one example which says let A be equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and R be a relation on A defined by R is equals to O set of ordered pairs A comma B such that B is exactly divisible by A. B is exactly divisible by A. That means first element will always divide the second element. First element will always divide the second element. So firstly let me take 1 as first element. So 1 must divide the second element, right? Second element is also from A only because it is a relation on A. So if it is from A only, then 1 will divide each element of A. If 1 will divide each element of A, it will form a pair with each element of A. So 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4 and 1, 6. Next, let me take 2 as first element. Now 2 will divide 2, 2 will divide 4, 2 will divide 6. So if 2 will divide 2, 4 and 6, then it will form a pair with 2, 4, 6. So you will get the ordered pairs 2, 2, 2, 4, 2, 6. Now let me fix first element as 3. So 3 will divide 3 and 6 only. So 3, 3 and 3, 6 pair will be there. Let me fix first element as 4. Now 4 will divide only 4. So if it will divide only 4, so 4, 4 ordered pair will be formed. Next and last, let me take fix first element as 6. 6 will divide only 6. So our ordered pair 6, 6 will be in set R, which is our relation set. Now let me take domain of R. Domain of R means the set of all the first elements of the ordered pairs. So take the set of all the first elements, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Now coming on to range. Range means the set of all the second elements of a ordered pair. So take the set of all the second elements of ordered pair, which will be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 6. Next and last, codomain of R. Codomain of R, as I told you earlier as well, codomain means the second set directly. So if it is second set directly, so it will be what? It will not be, it will be the second set only. So if second set, see in the relation was on set A. So if it is on set A, our first set and second set both are A only. So codomain will be A only, right? Next we are going to discuss about the functions. A relation f from A to B is said to be a function if every element of set A has only one and one image in set B. What it means, it is function is a relation only from A to B, right? And it is said to be a function if every element of set A has only one image. That means one will be paired up with only one element. Clear? That is, no two distinct ordered pairs have the same first element. If they have the same first element, that will not be relation. That will be a that will not be a function. That will just be a relation. Now, if a function f is a function and a comma b ordered pair belongs to f, then we say that b is called the image of a under f, or we write it as f of a will be equals to b, and a is called the pre-image of b. A is called the pre-image of b. Sorry, here it is b. A is called the pre-image of b. So if it is pre-image of b, we can write pre-image of b under f. Clear? Next, a function which has either r or one of its subset as its range is called real valued function. As the name only tells, the real valued function whose value is the set of real numbers or the subset of it. That means a function which has either r or one of its subsets as its range is called a real valued function. Further, if its domain is also either r or a subset of r, then it is called a real function. Real function means both the domain and range are either r or subset of r. Next, we are going to discuss the types of functions. First type of function is identity function. A function f from r to r defined by y is equals to fx equals to x. That means if I take the image of x, any element under f, that will be the same element x only. So if I take the image of x under f, which is a identity function, then f of x equals to x. That is identity function. Or we can say the image of any element under f will be same. If it is same, then it is what? It is a identity function. Next, second type, constant function. As the name only depicts, constant. That means whatever the value of x you take, the value of y will always remain a constant. A function f from r to r defined by y is equals to fx equals to c. That is for all x belongs to r, where c is what? C is a constant. That means our image of x under f is always remaining constant now. Clear? Next, polynomial function. A function f from r to r is said to be polynomial function if f of x is equals to a0 plus a1x plus a2x square plus up to so on a n x power n, where ai's are real value, or you can say real number as well. Ai's means the coefficients of x or x square or x power m something, right? And n is a non-negative integer. As you all know, the powers of a polynomial function, the powers of the variable in the polynomial function is non-negative integer. That is why n is non-negative integer. Now next type, which says rational function. A function of the type fx by gx, where gx is not equals to 0 for all x belongs to r. That means we are not cooperating the rules. We are a function of the type, we are following the rules of polynomial function only, but both are getting divided. A function of the type fx by gx, where gx is not equals to 0 for all x belongs to R. We are not taking denominator as 0, which is one of the rule that denominator can't be 0 because it will does not exist, because we can't divide by 0. For all x belongs to R, fx and gx are polynomial functions. So a function which is division of two polynomial functions, that will be our rational function. Now coming on to next type, fifth type, math, not math, it is modulus function. A function f from R to R defined by fx is equals to mod x, or fx is equals to minus of x if x is less than 0, and x if x is greater than equals to 0. All of you know what is the function of modulus function. It is to change a positive number into positive only, the same number will come out. If a number is negative, it will make it positive. So if x is negative, minus of x will be positive. So f of x is equal to minus x if x is negative, and x if x is positive. Clear? This is called modulus function. Last type of function, that is greatest integer function. A function f from R to R defined by fx equals to greatest integer of x for all x belongs to R, assumes the value of the greatest integer less than or equal to x. Greatest integer less than or equal to x. Next we are going to discuss algebra of functions. Let algebra of two functions, let f and g be two functions, then algebra of two functions is given by f plus g of x will be equals to fx plus gx. This denotes the addition of two functions. Next is f minus g of x will be equals to fx minus gx. This is the subtraction of two functions. Third thing is alpha f into x will be alpha f of x will be equals to alpha times fx. Alpha times fx. Clear? Next, fourth type is f into g of x will be equals to fx into gx, which is to g of x will be equals to fx into gx. This is what? This is the multiplication of functions. Now next, last, f by g of x. F by g means the quotient of the functions f and g. So f by g of x will be equals to fx by gx, where gx is not equals to 0 for all x. Right? Gx is not equals to 0 means we are not making our denominator as 0. So if we are not making our denominator as 0, which is always we do, right? Because denominator can't be 0. If denominator is 0, the number does not exist. So f by g of x will be equals to fx by gx. This was the quotient of functions. So this was the whole summary of your chapter relations and functions. Revise your chapter relation and function, and we will discuss the doubts in the class if you have any. Otherwise we will do some extra questions based on this chapter relation and function. Thank you, and we'll meet you in the class.